Jason, we were talking yesterday in one of our internal meetings about sort of the different areas, and I'm going a little rogue off the question list, everybody, so I'm putting him on the spot a bit. But we were talking a bit about like where we're seeing job gains versus where we're not seeing job gains, and I personally found that pretty interesting. I think maybe our clients would, our listeners would as well. Before we move on from the labor market, can you break that down a little bit for us?
Yeah, of course. So that really speaks to that hiring momentum piece that I mentioned when discussing the labor market. And early on in the economic recovery, we saw broadly distributed job growth across sectors and industries. Some of the areas that were shut down in the spring of 2020 saw the biggest gains in job growth, which of course makes sense. But all sectors were benefiting from a boom in the labor economy. Over the last 6 months or so, maybe even 12 months, we've seen a lot more staggered and even an uneven distribution in job gains among sectors. So, for example, the most recent jobs report that we got on November 3rd for the month of October, showed 150,000 jobs were added in the economy last month. But if you unpack where those jobs came from, all of them were created from the government, from healthcare, education, and leisure and hospitality. Why that's important is because government payrolls are notoriously volatile, lumpy, and hard to predict. So we kind of strip that out and look at private payrolls. In the remaining 100,000, if you strip out the government payrolls coming from healthcare, education, and leisure and hospitality, is a reflection of not so much a strong, broad-based labor market, but instead those sectors still trying to fill open seats that were lost during the pandemic. Those are the areas that had the most acute job losses in 2020 and 2021. So they're just trying to get back to even. And that's part of what's driving job growth right now. So it has slowed. And if you look at it through the lens of kind of the details under the covers, which again, Liz, is a great question, there are certainly reasons to think that things are normalizing.
Thanks for answering that. Details under the covers are always interesting.